Hello and welcome to Business as Usual. Today I'm joined by my longtime friend, Donna Honeywell from the Lowell Wish Project. Welcome, Donna.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks so much for having me.
Let's start back at the beginning. Now, you actually started the Wish Project at your house in your garage, right?
I did, out of a little ranch house in Belvedere. Yep.
So you had, what, an 18-car garage on this? Or?
Nope, but one single car garage, and that was when I was pregnant with my first child, and he's now 11.
Yep. So what inspired you to want to start it then?
Well, you know, before this, I used to teach the Navy SEALs how to use infrared cameras, and it was very exciting, but I traveled all over the world. So I wanted to be home with my kids.
Yep.
And but I found that it was really boring compared to traveling all over the place and training people. So, but I always wanted to volunteer. So now that I had a little more free time, being home with kids because they sleep and they have preschool and things.
Sure.
Anyway, I dedicated myself to charity, which I'd always wanted to do. And I volunteered with a bunch of different charities, and I just found out there was this huge overall need that, I mean, Lowell has like 120 social service agencies. We only have 105,000 people in our population, and that's Lowell. They then count Lawrence, Haverhill, Bradford, you know, that's a lot of social service agencies. And most of those caseworkers, over 500 caseworkers, spend most of their day not doing their job, but trying to find stuff. Trying to find diapers for a baby so a mother doesn't lose custody. Trying to find a bed for a foster care kid so that he can take that placement and not end up going around the system.
So that's what inspired you to you saw the need, obviously, for furniture in the community.
I did. And, you know, when people kept coming to me saying, hey, you know, my kids are outgrowing their stuff, and my own children were outgrowing their stuff. And at that point, I was on the City of Lowell Hunger Homeless Commission, and I once a month was in the same room with the leaders of House of Hope and all these wonderful homeless shelters, and I couldn't figure out how to get my crib to one of those babies, and I thought, there really is a problem here, that there's a disconnect between the people that need stuff and a way to get stuff to them. The food bank does a great job with getting food out to the agencies that provide services, and I said, well, wouldn't it be great if we had a big warehouse where we just put all the stuff?
Yep. So now, obviously, you're a furniture warehouse bank, but it's a lot more than that. I've been there.
We're a goods bank. And to my knowledge, I think the first goods bank in the country that we do everything but food. And we even do a little bit of food, but we do everything from toothbrushes to refrigerators to, we have a computer program, home goods, furniture, clothing, everything basic. Think about moving out into your first apartment when you've got nothing, all the things you need to get through that year.
So now, for someone to be able to take advantage of the Lowell Wish Project, they have to be referred by an agency, correct?
Yes, they have to be referred by one of our partner agencies. And one of the things I learned very early in the game was my expertise was not in social services, and I'm not qualified to do intakes, basically, to verify that people are financially in need or whatever. So our whole thing was, you know, the agencies are out there, they do a great job. They're already working with these people.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Why reinvent the wheel? And so we started out with a Hotmail account many years ago, back when the internet was really an amazing thing for a homemaker to be using. Now we have our own private database system that was built by a wonderful volunteer. And so they just go online, and it's like sending an email, but through our database, they just check to refer a client. They send us that form, and there's no paperwork. That was my other thing. There's way too much paperwork in social services.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we ask for very little information. If they're already working with that agency, they already qualify. That's all I care about.
So
if they're working towards getting themselves helped, then we want to take them the next step and make sure that they have the expensive goods they need so they can make it through the month with their finances.
So basically, if someone's in need of furniture, they're going through one of the agencies, they get referred to you, and they tell you what they need, or does the people...
They tell the social worker what they need, and we do have certain parameters as far as like what size bed. We don't give an 8-year-old a queen-size bed. There are certain rules.
Well, they would need a king anyway.
Only if we had one of those hotel donations where I have 100 kings I have to get rid of, and they happen, But yeah, and then so that's why the wish comes to us, and again, we go online and we approve it. That sends an email back to the social worker. So the social worker then can print it out, and in one page she gets our hours, our policies, the wish is good for 60 days, and the client has 60 days to come get their stuff.
It's just so cool how it all lines up and stuff. Now, we got to talk about donations, obviously. Now, you do not pick up donations.
We do not pick up, and there are several reasons why we don't do that. The first reason is cost. We run an incredibly cost-efficient place, and the second reason is I found out through the years that by doing studies that we do these things called give bigs, where we'll park a truck in a town, and then people can donate for 2 or 3 hours. And we actually do one here, in fact, right here in this plaza, usually in the spring. We do 14 of these, and we found out that when you do that, and the whole town is advertised for a month after, We can fill a 48-foot tractor trailer in that time with great
In
stuff.
a blink.
In a blink. And think of how much fuel we're saving
Yep.
on everyone. We found
Sure.
we did the math and realized if we went out in a box truck, our 15-foot box truck, it would take 6 months to fill that truck the same way. So this is a much more efficient way to do it. And half of our mission is helping to end homelessness by making people make it through that first year. When they come out of a homeless shelter, let all the agencies give them all the help that they need, get them their medical help, get them mental health if they need it, whatever they need. And then we make sure they have clothes and Christmas gifts and everything that the family needs.
It's really neat because, like you said, you're coming out of, maybe a shelter, or you're trying to get out on your own, but you look at the cost of just getting, everyday stuff, and it's enough to stop people from being able to make that change.
Yeah.
Now, how about donations? When and where can I take them?
Please bring them to our warehouse. That's the number one question. No one seems to know where the Wish Project is. We're really hidden back behind the new Target, which for those of you that are a little older is where Sears used to be. I haven't been here that long, so.
Yeah, no, that's factual.
And it's called Foundry Street. So if the Target is on your right and the VFW is on your left, go down that street, and before the cemetery, you'll make a right into Foundry Street. It really is really well marked. It's just, even my husband's lived here 50 years, and he says he'd never been down that street before, but that's where we are.
We had no reason to ever go on the street until the Wish Project went there. So now,
and our hours are Tuesday and Wednesday, Friday and Saturday from 9 to 2. Tuesday and Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, always 9 to 2.
now, should we call ahead before we bring something down?
No appointment is necessary. We know that getting a truck is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you go to the trouble to do it, we'll be there. Just call ahead at this time of year if there's a snowstorm or a holiday or something unusual.
But obviously you're looking for stuff that's still in good shape.
Definitely. It has to be
No
completely
broken-
functional and
no
completely
broken legs.
hygienic. The couch has to have all its cushions, all of its legs.
Yeah.
We're not that picky, though. I mean, a little sun fading we expect.
Sure,
but we do take mattresses, which most people don't know. We do take mattresses if they're clean and stain-free. Bed frames, we never have enough of those folding steel bed frames, and almost everyone has one of those in their attic someplace.
Absolutely.
We could use 100 of them. And really the big thing is, what do we need? Each week the needs change, and they change a lot because we work, again, to get tractor trailer loads of stuff from all over the Northeast in, much like a food bank does. They do rely on the public for donations, but we also run fleets of tractor trailers when hotels do renovations and things. So to find out what we need each week, the most important thing people can do is go onto our website, which is thewishproject.org, T-H-E, thewishproject.org. And right there on the front, you can sign up for our once a week wish list. And we send out a wish list, very short email, that just tells you what things are urgently needed that week.
I really like it because I come across it all the time. People have stuff that, they just don't want anymore. Hey, we replaced the front room set or whatever, but they're looking at it going, what do? I don't want to just put it on the curb and, and hopefully someone takes it. So being able to, bring it to you, like you said, I get at least one call a week saying, hey, I got this. And like I said, we've done events together. It's always interesting to watch because people come in and the first thing they do is they're scanning around and they do the, why does she have all these couches? And I'm like, well, she's a furniture goods warehouse bank. And people confuse it with Make-A-Wish.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, I thought it was Make-A-Wish.
They do.
But then, it's interesting to watch because people start looking around and they're like, great, I know where to bring that TV now. I know where to bring this. I know where to bring that, And then, obviously, when we had Matt, came and fell in love with the Wish Project, went around picking up donations for you. So, but it's funny to see, once people saw what you were doing, they were like, this is just the coolest thing ever because it's a way to be able to recycle everything knowing it's going to a needy family.
Yep, and you get into a good point with the televisions because half of our mission is to really help end homelessness by making people succeed the first time. The other half of our mission is recycling, and we've really stepped up to do this a lot this year. We're working very hard to be a zero waste facility. Do you know what that is? Because I'm like, there's a whole world about zero waste stuff.
Yes, but go ahead, tell us what it is.
So anyway, we basically have no dumpster, that there's absolutely zero trash at all. Now we take in close to 750 tons of material a year. That's a lot of stuff. Between all the clothing, the baby gear, the home goods, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of heavy stuff. And out of all of that, we have one little blue dumpster a week that gets picked up, and we're trying to get rid of that dumpster. That's our goal this year, is to get rid of that. And the reason I bring that up is we do accept televisions right now, but we do charge a $5 recycling fee because many times that one may work, but a lot of other ones don't work. And
Yep.
so we have to cover the cost of recycling.
Sure.
We can take almost anything with an electric cord.
Yep.
We're looking for refrigerators right now. If you've got a refrigerator that works, we have a whole bunch of people that need them. We take washers and dryers if they're in good shape. They just have to work. And if they don't work, I don't care. Bring them by
Yeah.
anyway. For $5, I'll take your old washer off your hands
Right,
and
yeah.
we can recycle it.
Yep.
We're trying to be one-stop donation center. So we have a book bin. We can take your books. We have clothing bins outside if you can't stop by during regular hours. We really are trying to accept as many goods as possible to make it convenient for people, make it worth your while to stop by.
I like it. Now, how about funding? Where does the funding come from?
That's a
Someone's got to
lovely
get paid, right?
Yeah, and we run on a very tiny budget. I think you've been interviewing me for like 4 or 5 years, and our
Yeah.
budget has not changed much. It's still right around $250,000. And
Yep.
that was back when we had 1 staff member, and now we have 8 staff members.
Wow.
That is really amazing to have. I'm
Yeah.
still the only full-time
Yep.
staff, but we have 7 part-time staff. Yeah, and the overhead is incredible. I mean, we have to pay for the insurance and the audit. You
Yep.
know, it's our biggest thing of the year. And
Sure.
we are 93% privately funded, which means we raise our own funds.
I
The
like it.
agencies that partner with us do pay a yearly fee.
Yep.
It's a small fee on the order of $500 is average. And for most agencies, their clients are getting on the order of $40,000 or $50,000 in value of goods. That's at yard
good
sale
trade.
prices.
Yeah,
It's a
pretty good trade.
really good trade. So that helps us. We just had our big fundraiser, Winter Wishes, but
Yep.
the biggest thing we're really trying to grow this year are what we call our monthly sustainers. And you know, I know this year everybody's hitting everybody up for money, and in this economy, it's very hard for most people to write a big check. We welcome big
Sure,
checks,
yeah.
but
Well, they're welcome.
but they're really hard to do. And
Yep.
what's actually really critical, you know, whether you like the Wish Project or any charity, keep this in mind that if you can donate even $10 or $15 out of your paycheck, go online to any charity and do it monthly. It is absolutely critical because all charities can then take that money and show grantors and other people that we've got reliable income coming
Yep.
in, and you can leverage all kinds of other funding off of it. So consider donating, you know, just $10, $20 a month comes out of your credit card every month. You won't even miss it, and it's really life-changing.
People really don't understand the importance of that. Like you said, when you're applying for grants,
Ah.
they want to see that, hey, there's some sustainability behind this project.
Exactly.
It's not just, you know, hey, here's this lady came up with this really great idea, but is it going to be here next year and stuff? So now, obviously, people watching, how do they help?
How do they help? Well, there are a lot of ways to help. First of all, volunteer, and we love volunteers, first of all, because with only 7 part-time staff, most of the work that runs the Wish Project is done by volunteers. So come by the warehouse, all the sorting, helping clients where we actually get the pick list and help fill the orders, most of that is done by volunteers.
Yep.
There's tons of paperwork to be done, but it's just an absolute mountain of clothing. Our clothing place alone, every week we turn over a room that's about 15 feet tall by about 40 feet wide.
Wow.
By about 20 feet deep. And that amount of clothing has to be sorted, gone through, sized, and put out. And it goes out every week.
It's kind of neat because I know you're the person I always refer to when people want to volunteer. Now, do you have any age limits for volunteers?
We usually say 9, and it really depends on the child, because I have a son that's 11, and he would be a terrible volunteer.
Yeah.
But I know you have to be old enough to really read the labels on
Yep.
things, and so, you know, but
But
we've
it's
had
nice
people come.
that you can
younger.
have younger kids do it and stuff.
yeah.
You know, like a family type of situation. But obviously, all kidding aside, monetary donations are always necessary.
Yeah, we just, a couple weeks ago, we took a donation in from Fort Dix. I say took in. And for the large donations, we actually sent trucks down to New Jersey to pick them up. Turns out it's really expensive. It was supposed to be 100 twin beds, so we got this wonderful furniture donation, which we desperately needed, but I just got the trucking bill yesterday, and they want $5,000 for this trucking bill, which is just
Wow.
going to kill us. That's really my trucking budget for the entire year. So, but on the other hand, we're getting, you know, $70,000 worth of
Yeah.
furniture. It's cost efficient, but it still costs money to
Yeah.
do it. So
Now, you also do a lot of stuff for Christmas, though. Let's
we
talk
do.
a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about our Christmas program. The reason we're called the Wish Project, half of what we do is wishes, which is, you know, the order entry thing
Yep.
and the social workers. The other half, what we do, are projects. And I just decided in the beginning, I'm like, you know, when it gets cold, everybody needs a blanket. So
True.
don't wait for them to place a wish for a blanket.
Yep.
We just have a box outside. And right now, anyone that needs a coat or shoes or a blanket, we have a free room in the front of our lobby. They can come by anytime we're open and get coats and blankets
Wow.
for free. That's we run that all winter
Yep.
long. So each month we run a project. Right now we're running the Magic of Christmas. And there are so many great Christmas programs in town, and
Sure.
really we let the experts handle their programs. You know, Toys for Tots does a wonderful job. In fact, we work with them as well. There are many programs out there that help the kids. But our belief is that there's so many people out there who get forgotten at Christmas. So we do help the children, and particularly foster children, children with all kinds of issues. But we also help a wide variety of the street homeless. We get them gift bags. We help the homebound senior citizens through the visiting nurses and through elder services. And we help a wide population of mentally challenged adults who frankly would be forgotten at this time of year. So we have a really creative program. We try not to duplicate what other people are doing.
Sure.
We try to sort of extend things.
But you seem to really have found a different niche than most of the other groups. You know, so now for the homeless people, how do you identify them? How do you get to them?
Again, we go through the agencies. So
Yep.
the agencies that pay a fee to work with us,
Sure.
and most of the shelters are involved with
Yep.
us, they place an order essentially in early October and tell us how many bags they need. They have a pretty good idea what
Sure.
their
Yep.
homeless is, and then we get those bags. It works differently. Some agencies have social service workers that go out and deliver the bags.
Yep.
Like elder services would take them out.
Which is kind of nice because, like you said, you know, especially the elderly, a lot of them, you know, living by themselves, maybe not having any family.
Yep.
Well, it's nice, for someone to go by and see them, you know, for their companionship, and to be, you know, be able to fortunate enough to bring a gift with them. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about your Winter Wishes project.
Winter Wishes was the
Yep.
auction that we
Yep.
just held, and it was very successful this year. We did raise about $30,000,
Wow.
which, yeah, was great. We actually raised 35 because the online auction, which is the first time we've done that, raised another 5,000. And in fact, the online auction, we had so much fun with it that we're going to be doing another online auction coming up probably in February.
Walk me through the online auction. I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't really understand it too much.
Yeah, this is, again, my whole thing was technology. Find a way to use technology to take the
True.
paperwork out and to work
Yep.
smarter, because we don't have enough money to work
Right,
any
yeah.
other way.
Right, you have to. It's a necessity.
But yeah, there's an online auction service called Bidding for Good. There are many out there. It's the one
Yep.
that we use. And because we're a goods bank, it finally occurred to us that people are constantly donating things we don't necessarily need, but they're a great way to generate money. But we didn't want to be a thrift store, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But this way we can take nice items like crystal bowls and vases and things
Yep.
and auction them off. And so people all over the country can go online and log in to Bidding for Good and bid on our items. And in fact, a good third of the items that sold are going all over the country. They're not even here locally.
That is kind of neat, huh?
Yeah.
How, like you said, it's a great way to make some money. And, you know, and people always just love online auctions.
They're a
It's
lot of
just the
fun.
thrill of the hunt, you know. Look, I got this, you know, beautiful, you know, bowl, and it was only X dollars, you know, so.
Yeah,
and
we're learning a bit too, though, because I did have one person that bought an item that was $5 but weighs 20 pounds, and I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Now I have to go after him and go, well, you have to
Yeah.
pay to ship it because
Right, yeah.
this thing's got to go to
Yeah,
California.
yeah,
Everything's a learning experience.
Oh, it is and stuff. But it's nice that you know, you're trying to find additional ways to raise revenue. Because, you know, I obviously involved in a lot of nonprofits, and we look at it and say, you know, we need more money. So what do? You have another event. And
Yeah,
it's like,
events
well,
are
we're
brutal.
going back to the same people. You know, and I use the example all the time. I know I'm giving you X dollars. If you have an event, here's your check. You have 2 events, here's half of your check each time. And you just keep ripping that
and
check
it
in the
takes
third
so
and
many
fourth.
people to pull off an event.
Yep.
You've really, and honestly, we have a great team. Our board is fantastic, and our fundraising team, but it takes so much energy to pull off an event. So, I mean, I don't want to give away our secrets because we have a lot of ways of raising money that are creative, but
Yeah.
let me just say there's money in trash.
Yep.
So a lot of the clothing we get that's off-season goes out through the Epilepsy Foundation, and we
Yep.
get paid for the pound by that, and then that
Yep.
ends up at Savers in Nashua. So if someone donates a fur coat, you'll find it up in Savers.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of creative ways, and we do sell refurbished computers. That program doesn't make much money, but
Yep.
for $50 we sell a complete computer of the
Right.
CPU and everything, and
Sure.
so
But it's
Make enough
it's
money to-
smart because that's what you have to do because obviously, like you said, you know, one thing, let's backtrack a little bit. Roughly how many wishes do you grant a year?
we help about 27,000 people a year. It's about 5,000 wishes because again,
Yeah.
the projects account for
Sure.
a lot of people. But of those, 1,000 are complete homes full of stuff, and that's everything from the television to the VCR, many times the refrigerator, everything for bed, bath, and we also fill those wishes in 20 minutes. We've really an amazing system that we
Yep.
can fill that U-Haul in 20 minutes.
Wow, that is really amazing. It's got to be really rewarding, you know, to step back in a time machine. You think about standing in your garage, and then you're standing at the Wish Project now going, wow, that was kind of impressive.
It's funny you should say that because I'm actually always looking forward, which drives my board of directors crazy.
Yep.
But in my mind, we've already built our own building and moved in, and I
Yep.
can tell you what color it is and what
Right, yeah.
what the
But
floor
no,
tiles
but
look
you
like.
need that person. I always say that all the
We
time.
need a bigger building.
Yeah. Is that no cause survives unless they have that one person who thinks this is the most important thing in the world. Been involved in things where people are like, yeah, it's okay. And those groups always struggle, but you need that one person who's like, who has that vision, who can clearly see, I know exactly the dimensions of the building, I know what color it's gonna be, I know, where we're gonna go, and I know what's gonna even happen after that. Because that's how you get there. Otherwise you just get stagnant, and then, people are calling and you're like, well, guess what, we don't have any refrigerators left, and we don't know how to get them anymore.
But you know why I do
maxed.
it though? Is the stories that I have the wonderful job of, I get to play Santa 365 days
Yeah.
a year with other people's
Yeah.
used junk.
Right,
And
yeah.
I absolutely love it because, when we had a little girl that came in about a month ago, and all she had on her feet was flip-flops, and her mother spoke English. She spoke pin-perfect English. And this little girl, we found her a brand new pair of tennis shoes as part of our Move Your Shoes project that we have to collect shoes. We give out about 4,000 pairs of shoes a month. It's like insane how
Wow.
many pairs.
4,000 a month?
Is that right? I have to do the math on that. It's about 100 a day.
Yeah.
What is that, times 20 days?
Yeah, so it's 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a lot of shoes. You
Yeah.
wouldn't think there's that much of a market. We cannot keep used shoes and boots on the thing. So we're now trying to raise money to buy some new shoes for the clients. This little girl, her eyes just lit up, and you should have seen her. She just couldn't wait to sit on the floor and tie these shoes. And the other one of my favorites was we had a foster care teenager, and the mother's actually a social worker. She went and for many reasons, the girl was about to get launched into the foster care system, and the girls were friends. Her daughter was friends. So Karen, the mother, says, no, I'll bring her in as a foster child. So, but in order to do it, she had to have a bed for her that day.
Yep.
So she called me, and I came in, and we got her a bed that day. And then, you know what? Like a month later, the daughter and the other one came into the warehouse, and they have done so much to raise money for Beds for Kids and volunteer their time in the warehouse. It's truly amazing to see people just give back.
Yeah, it really is. Like you said, how people, have to go through the system, but then when they get back on their feet, they want to repay the system. And that's
People are
just
so
really neat
grateful.
and stuff. And you see that all the time. But like you said, because you're sitting there, passing out potentially a whole house full of stuff. And, how can people not be blown away by that would otherwise still be in the system? Because it's like, yeah, I scraped up enough money to get a room somewhere or get an apartment, but I have no bed, I have no TV, I have nothing. So it's nice to know there's programs out there. And it's a simple thing. People can just, save what they have, bring it to you, and you can, push it right back out. Let's talk a little bit about the guilt-free regifting.
Guilt-free regifting. I came up with this term years ago, and I love it. I always wanted to have a charity be completely guilt-free, because that's my attitude. I think people like charities that are, you don't want to be made feel bad. You want to feel good. You give money, you want to feel good. So in December, we go through your closets, and all those gifts that people have given you that are still sitting there in a box that you really will never use, that Chia Pet, all that stuff, the Snuggly, whatever it is, we welcome anything new in a box, because again, we help a huge population of mentally challenged adults, homebound seniors. We can find a home for literally anything that is new in box at Christmas time. I've still got several hundred poker games that we're going to find a home for.
No, but
So
you
bring
bring
it
up
by.
a great point, because like you said, that happens, unfortunately, everybody. Somebody, thinks, oh, Kevin will love this, and it's like, this person really doesn't know who I am. Then goes, But then, like you said, you mean while you hang on to it, or worse, you end up regifting it within your own social circle.
And get caught,
And, yeah, and you're like, isn't that the gift Donna gave him last year? It sure looks like that, Ty, So, like you said, obviously, can kind of avoid that and stuff by going to you. Now, so let's talk about the different types of volunteer opportunities you have. So people listening can say, hey, that's my skill set. Because you must obviously occasionally need a certain skill set.
Oh, yeah, and again, every week we put that in the newsletter. There's a volunteer section, because again, the needs change. Our biggest problem facing us right now is that our volunteer coordinator, do you know Laura Haven?
Yep.
Is stepping down in January. And
Great.
yeah, I can't, it's going to leave a vacuum that I don't know how we'll ever fill it. I'm just in complete denial. So we've got backup plans and all, but at this point, we're really looking to fill that position. If anybody out there is looking for a 20-hour-a-week job for a stay-at-home mom who's really good with Excel, it's a fun place to work. But So yeah, you can come volunteer. Currently right now we're still doing Monday nights where we have our Monday night elves that come in. Anytime we're open, we welcome volunteers. And if you have any questions, just email us, because it's better for you to say what you want to do and email me, because I'll find a way to use it. We need so much help that, you know, and not everybody wants to sort things. We had a group last week that came in, donated the money to buy a bunch of side rails, because a furniture shop donated headboards and footboards with no side rails. That's a lovely donation. Took the tax rate off, and we're like, what are we going to do with it? So this great group came in and built the things for us. So we have all kinds of volunteer opportunities.
But you also have like paperwork type of volunteers.
So
if, you know, like you said, you know, because not everyone likes to sort and stuff, so you can have opportunities doing such paperwork, computer type of thing.
Answering the phones. It's just downright rocket science. We've had a terrible time. We finally tried, all these years we never had any receptionist or administrative help. Everyone does their own work. And we're just finding the papaperwork is burying us, so we're really looking for some qualified people to just cheerful and answer the phone, you know?
No, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, losing your volunteer coordinator, we always, you know, kind of chuckle about that on the stuff I'm involved in. That's the most important person in the whole organization.
Absolutely critical.
Because, you know,
most people donate because they volunteer, and that's their connection to the organization. It is absolutely critical. Now,
because we'll be going through that in one of the boards I'm involved in, and we're looking for someone to do that. And I'm like, don't look at me, because I'll forget to email them. You know, it'll be Monday night, and you know, Monday morning I'm going, hey, a couple people have to come down, because I told Donna I'd run the volunteers, so you know, I need people and stuff. It's like I said, it's real
part
crucial.
cheerleader and part office manager with being incredibly organized.
So right on the website is the wishproject.org.
Thewishproject.org,
It will show all the types of things
Everything
you need,
is on there.
as well as the volunteer opportunities and
There's
stuff.
a whole page about volunteering. There's everything, all of our programs. In fact, all of our projects for the entire year are set up, because a lot of times, particularly Girl Scout troops, but a lot of people plan way ahead. This way, every program is set up so that you can click on a link. It opens the 8.5 by 11 sheet for the who, what, where, when, why, how to do every project that we run. And we even have one for teenagers that, for years I said, I want to find a way to make money in my sleep. So we started this new thing called the Sleepathon. And we're dying to scale that up. I put that out there as a challenge to anybody, because I really want to have like Songus Arena and have a big sleepathon. And instead of like a walkathon, you get sponsored for how many hours you sleep on the floor. And on any given day in Lowell, there's at least 100 children sleeping on the floor for lack of a bed. So that Beds for Kids is our flagship program, and we really want to raise awareness. Plus, it'd be kind of a hoot to have a couple thousand kids sleeping on the floor for money.
All right, you literally have 50 seconds left. What's the future for the Wish Project?
Oh, we need our own building, and like I said, I've seen it. We need a bigger building, and that's more cost efficient to run, and where we can have greater volunteer opportunities on site.
So last question, just grab your contact information, where you're located, phone number to call the volunteer.
The Wish Project, we're at 1A Foundry Street. That's in Lowell, again, off of Plain Street. The phone number is 978-441-WISH, which is 9474. And again, the website is thewishproject.org. And if you want to reach me, I'm Donna at thewishproject.org. That's how easy we are to reach.
Great. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.